Mark Zuckerberg shares a confusing vision for AI superintelligence. Flickering lights could help fight misinformation. And Substack accidentally sent push alerts promoting a Nazi publication. It's Thursday, July 31st, and here's a quick look at tech in the news this morning from Engadget. Mark Zuckerberg has spent the last several months and several $billion recruiting prominent AI researchers and executives for a new superintelligence team at Meta. And now the Meta CEO has published a lengthy memo that attempts to lay out his big plan for using the company's vast resources to create personal superintelligence. In that memo, which really reads more like a manifesto than a strategic business plan, Zuckerberg explains that he's extremely optimistic that superintelligence will help humanity accelerate our pace of progress. The technology, according to him, has the potential to begin a new era of personal empowerment where people will have greater agency to improve the world in the directions they choose. Zuckerberg, who has previously expressed a desire to build artificial general intelligence, never defines superintelligence, nor does his 616-word memo explain how Meta plans to create such a technology, what it might help people accomplish, or why anyone should trust the company to build it. Instead, he implies that Meta will be a better steward of this non-specifically powerful AI than others in the industry who expect humanity will live on a dole of its output. Left unsaid by Zuckerberg is the fact that the memo comes at a time when he's been rapidly reorganizing Meta's AI teams. Last month, the company invested $14.8 billion into Scale AI, a move that allowed it to bring Scale CEO and founder Alexandra Wang into the company. The 28-year-old founder is now Meta's chief AI officer in charge of its superintelligence efforts. Meta has also been on a hiring spree for the effort and has reportedly been offering prominent researchers 8- and 9-figure pay packages to come to Meta. In recent weeks, the company has successfully recruited high-profile talent from Apple and OpenAI, including Xingji Zhao, who helped create GPT-4. Zhao announced last week that he will take on the role of chief scientist of Meta Superintelligence Labs. Just yesterday, Wired reported that Meta has recently turned its recruiting efforts to Thinking Machines Lab, an AI startup founded by former OpenAI CTO Mira Murati, and that in at least one case it made an offer worth more than $1 billion over several years. Meta PR said some details of that report were off. All of that is on top of the $72 billion Zuckerberg has said Meta plans to spend on AI infrastructure. A group of Cornell computer scientists has unveiled what they believe could be a new tool in the fight against AI-generated video, deepfakes, and doctored clips. The watermarking technique, called noise-coded illumination, hides verification data in light itself to help investigators spot doctored videos. The approach was published in the June 27th issue of ACM Transactions on Graphics and will be presented at SIGGRAPH on August 10th. Now, the system adds a barely perceptible flicker to light sources in a scene. Cameras record this pseudo-random pattern, even though viewers cannot detect it, and each lamp or screen that flickers carries its own unique code. As an example, imagine a press conference filmed in the White House briefing room. The studio lights would be programmed to flicker with unique codes. If a viral clip from that press conference later circulates with what appears to be an inflammatory statement, investigators can run it through a decoder, and by checking whether the recorded light codes line up, could determine whether the footage was doctored. Abe Davis, assistant professor of computer science at Cornell, said each watermark carries a low-fidelity time-stamped version of the unmanipulated video under slightly different lighting. When someone manipulates a video, the manipulated parts start to contradict what we see in these code videos, which lets us see where changes were made. And if someone tries to generate fake videos with AI, the resulting code videos just look like random variations. While the scientists acknowledge that rapid motion and strong sunlight could hinder the technique's efficacy, they are bullish on its utility in settings like conference room presentations, television interviews, or lecture hall speeches. It was pretty easy to view Substack's 2023 Nazi controversy as a kicked can that could possibly turn up again. Well, white supremacist content led to another headache for the company this week. UserMag reported on Tuesday that the app sent a push alert to some users promoting a Nazi newsletter. The company told Engadget the notification was an extremely offensive and disturbing error. The Substack newsletter in question describes itself as a National Socialist weekly newsletter. It includes opinions and news important to the National Socialist and white nationalist community. The far-right blog has a mere 757 subscribers, and compared to, say, Heather Cox Richardson's 2.6 million or George Saunders' 312,000, that's not a huge number. Given the newsletter's offensive content and relatively paltry audience, well, that doesn't seem like something to promote, really. According to the company, it didn't mean to. A Substack spokesperson told Engadget that they discovered an error that caused some people to receive push notifications they should never have received. UserMag reported that those who clicked on the Nazi blog's profile received recommendations for a similar one, and that one had a larger audience of 8,600 subscribers. One reason social users were quick to pounce on the latest incident, it provides a symbolic callback to Substack's 2023 Nazi debacle. That's when The Atlantic dug up scores of white supremacist, neo-Confederate, and Nazi newsletters on the platform. Some were even monetized. Substack's policy is one of anti-censorship. Substack co-founder Hamish McKenzie wrote in December 2023, "I just want to make it clear that we don't like Nazis either. We wish no one held those views, but some people do hold those and other extreme views. Given that, we don't think that censorship, including through demonetizing publications, makes the problem go away. In fact, it makes it worse." Well, after weeks of negative press coverage and prominent authors leaving the platform, Substack relented. Sort of. On one hand, the company removed some pro-Nazi publications. However, it did so without changing its policies. Instead, it said 5 publications violated its existing content guidelines. Specifically, they broke rules prohibiting incitements to violence based on protected classes. Substack has since found its footing as a haven for independent content creators. Numerous journalists looking to build an audience sans traditional media have flocked to it. Thanks for listening. There's more to these stories and more tech news at Engadget.com. This episode featured journalism from Carissa Bell, Andre Revilla, and Will Shankland, and was voiced and produced from the sound studios of Spoken Layer. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more tech news from Engadget.